special day we have. We've got February the 5th, and I do have a special guest in the studio with me this morning, Connie Ray. Good morning, Connie.
Good morning.
And you know, the Ray name is no stranger to WSLM, but usually it's Mike Ray. So now we have Connie Ray. So glad to have you with us. Good morning.
Well, thank you for having me today. It's wonderful.
And Connie, if you brought this sunshine, I'm telling you, with you, I'm very happy about that.
I'm gonna take that.
That sunshine coming in the window, oh, love it, like it, want more of it. And if you're not experiencing it, pull back the blinds, pull back the curtains, tear them down, let that sunshine in. Want to welcome everyone to Coffee Club this morning, and it's Monday morning. Want to thank our sponsors. We have Meadowview Healthcare Center, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Uplands, Americans for Prosperity, Mama Rose's Restaurant, Fox Pearly Wealth Management, Dr. Mindy Gunn, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Wind Horse from Paoli and English, and McAllister Land Consulting. Thank you to our great sponsors. Connie, today is the 5th day of February. Today is California Western Monarch Day. Okay. That just says it all right there. This is Disaster Day. Well, let's hope not, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's too pretty to be a disaster.
Right. We got an attitude of gratitude. We're not going to have a disaster today. Let's see here. Also, National Chocolate Fondue Day.
Oh, I'll take that.
I'll participate in that. So, Connie, if we were making fondue, what would you be dipping in your fondue? What if we were going to get?
I like to dip angel food cake. Fruit, strawberries.
Oh, yeah.
That is really good.
Yeah, all of the above. I'm with you. And National Shower with a Friend Day. Okay, I don't know about that. Okay. National Weather Person's Day. I do want to say a big shout out to everybody trying to predict the weather, especially in this Kentuckiana area. It's like, oh my goodness, you never know. It's going to change, right? It's yeah.
Don't like today, wait till tomorrow.
Tomorrow. That's right. Exactly. And World Nutella Day. Nutella's good. Yeah. All right. So those are some days. Get out and enjoy, and hopefully everyone will have a great day. Best day ever, right? I do love the holidays, and I love all that, and want everyone to have a great day. Last night was the award show, the Grammys, and stayed up and watched a little bit of that. Did you watch any of that?
I did not.
Okay, well, I thought that it went really well. Miley Cyrus really shined, and she told her story, and I thought this was, she was talking about one of her favorite, her song, the hit, I Can Buy Myself Flowers, and I thought this was such a good song. She actually said that she was like a little boy with a net trying to get a butterfly, and I'm not telling it as good as she would, or she did, but that she all of a sudden just put the net down, and just all of a sudden the butterfly landed on her nose. It just came upon her. So I thought that was a cool story. So
that is.
Anyway, so for anybody watching that, we also have Krista with us in the house from Meadowview Healthcare Center. Good morning, Krista.
Good morning.
And happy Monday, right?
Yeah. Sunny.
Yeah.
Hopefully heard you guys talking about the sunshine already.
Getting that sun coming up, right?
Yeah. Finally.
Yes. We welcome him. Well, tonight on sports, we actually have a little bit of a night off, so hats off to our announcers. I know all of our announcers are a little bit of a, what do we do tonight? What do we do tonight? But Tuesday, we'll be hitting it hard. We'll have the Red Hot Stowe League at 6 p.m., the Indiana at Ohio State, 7 p.m. tip-off, pregame at 6 p.m., and Indiana Pacers will be with the Houston Rockets at 7 p.m. Wednesday, it looks like we'll have another little bit of a break. And Thursday, we'll have Indiana Pacers and the Golden State. Friday, February 9th, Salem Lions will be at Clarksville, 7:30 tip-off. Eastern Musketeers will be playing Corden Central, 7:30. Indiana Sports Talk at 9:30 till midnight. So the sports action going on, a lot going on for sure. So also, let's see, I think that is most of my announcements. I do want to remind everybody they're still looking for candidates for the Awareness Washington County Cook-Off. And I want to ask real quick, Krista, over at Meadowview, are you guys all decorated and ready for Valentine's Day?
We're getting there, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Hearts and pink and red.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Well, we have Connie Ray on with us this morning, and Connie actually is got a big event coming up. Connie, let's first of all let's meet. Tell us a little bit about yourself, because we know we've had Mike on before, and and you've been on here before, but it's been a little while. So kind of let's tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been a homemaker and a business owner for over 50 years. And we started, my husband and I both founded Outside the Walls 15 years ago this year. I'll be 15 years old.
Wow.
And kind of started out as whatever was needed. I was secretary, I was treasurer, whatever was needed at the time. We were very young and trying to get it going. You know, we're very young in what we were doing. But yeah, we just continued on with that, and I've had a great success with my businesses. We own a cleaning service, and I did home health for some years, helping the elderly.
Wonderful. Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah, I do a lot with hospice care, and I enjoyed that.
What a great, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's a great servant for sure. Yeah, to be in that. Yeah. So let's go back to the 15 years ago. Was this your vision? What was your vision for Outside of the Walls?
Well, you know, living in the community and being part of a church, you kind of get information, you know, from people having needs, and, you know, they come to the church or whatever. But as we continue to get to know some of the services in the community, we just realized there were some people falling through the cracks that their needs were not being met. And so we were trying to think of a way that we could get everybody together and make sure that if one person couldn't meet the need, then somebody else would be able to. And that's kind of how we got started. We were just trying to help people that couldn't get help anywhere else.
Right. And I think you bring up a good point, because there always seems like there's that gap or somewhere that those, you know, there's someone that just falls through that, you know, for whatever reason. And seeing that need and picking that up and realizing that let's help them, because I would think one of the there's several now, but I would think one of the first things I heard in action with Outside of the Walls, it's been years ago, was when you built like a ramp, like a wheelchair ramp for someone.
Yes,
you know,
and that was something that rarely was done for anybody, but now we've built ramps all over this county.
Isn't that, and like that, I mean, that is such a need.
Yes, it is. We just recently ministered to a lady in that way. She had some amputation, and she was in the nursing home, and they told her she couldn't go home. She didn't have a ramp, and she's like, what do you do? How do you get a ramp? And somebody told her to contact Outside Walls. Well, we had a ramp up in 2 weeks. We just got the crew together and was able to do that, and she was able to come home. Our goal was to get her home for Christmas so she could be with her family, and we were able to get that accomplished. So, you know, you never know. I mean, there's just people out there that just don't even know where to go. And but we're getting a little more known in the community, and we get a lot of referrals from different organizations now, and that's okay. We all want to work together and, you know, do what we can do.
Absolutely. Well, do you feel like with that, I mean, like, that's something, Krista, you know how important, because within healthcare, I mean, those are things like that you just can't do. I mean, like, I couldn't just go build a ramp. You know what I mean?
No, there's specifications and there's certain rules with that it has to be done according to spec.
Right.
And you can't just go, I'm just going to go flop up some boards and let Mom ride down.
No, right.
Flop up a piece of plywood.
Now, my children would send me down. Let me tell you. My children would say, we don't need a ramp. Boom, 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 boom.
I've seen that happen.
I'm sure. So I'm thinking, though, with this, how awesome is this? But I've got more to the story. So this has been years ago, Connie, that with this, though, how awesome. So the word, like, gets out. We need, so-and-so needs a ramp. So-and-so wants to come home, from maybe Meadowview, Salem Crossing, wants to come home, or, or wants to, have access to go. Because I feel like in that, everyone should be able to go if they want to. You know what I'm saying? I love that. I love, experiencing life and, and being able to get out and
sure.
get, But I think the thing that I was so impressed was I heard about the ramp being made, but then I heard about all of the hands and everybody that joined in. There was like so many people, so many, that did this with no glory, just completely guts, no glory. You know what I'm saying? No, just
Mm-hmm.
completely would never even say their name being doing this.
Mm-hmm. We have tons of wonderful volunteers.
Is that
And we always are needing more because people can, some people can work one day, another person needs to work another day or whatever. But we do have wonderful volunteers, and we have a wonderful job coordinator, Bart Pages. He kind of heads up, the jobs, and we need gets it together, tells us how many people he's going to need to do the job. And yes, we've got people even at First Harrison Bank that they want to come and be a team. They want to bring their team and assist us with some of that. So yes, and nobody is paid. This is all strictly volunteer. There is not one penny that comes in outside the walls that goes out for anybody to receive. We are all volunteers. The board is all volunteers.
Isn't that awesome? I mean, isn't that just really cool? Does it mind you? It's mind-boggling right now, this day and age. It seems like, to be honest, time is the most precious thing we can get.
Yes.
And I feel like I always tell my daughters this. When someone gives you their time, they're giving you a lot. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And for having volunteers that can say, hey, I can do it on this day, and we can do this, and having and Wassel, like almost the networking of, like, if we all three, if Connie and Krista and Becky, all three of us, like, it would be such a cool thing to get to hang out with you ladies. You know what I mean? Meeting new friends, working together for the common goal of making a ramp. I would love to see us do this, right? But
well, come on, girls. We can put
I
you
would
on
do
a
it. I
job.
would do my best. You know what I'm saying? I would bring lemonade to whoever. I would. You know what I mean?
And we have had that, ladies, to
to
bring just the food to feed our
food,
workers.
lemonade.
Yes.
I'm there. You know what I mean? I'm your girl. But no, but bringing people together of different walks of life. That maybe their paths normally maybe you would not cross, but you have that in outside the walls because you have different volunteers.
Yes, because we send out, well, the ones that we know. My husband, of course, you know him. He knows everybody in the community, and he was the chaplain here in the city for several years. And so he is familiar with a lot of the churches. So he, lets the pastors know. We've sent letters to the pastors, the people in their congregation. I may not know who they are, but they can sign up and be a volunteer. And so we've gotten people from all over this county to help at one time or another. It's been good.
Yeah, and very blessed for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So do you feel like, and I'm sure like in healthcare, I know, I'm sure both of you being in that, sometimes people just have to tell their needs. That's the thing that there's help and there's people that want to help, but you have to tell them, and just like what you're saying, when you go to the churches, you have great people in churches, but sometimes you just need to say, hey, we need someone that needs this help.
Right.
And then you'll have everybody, you'll be willing to help, but it's just sometimes, I guess faith without works is dead. I always say that all the time, but like you have to sometimes put it into motion.
Yes, absolutely. Hands on. We need some hands on sometimes, not just, we'd like to do that, or, but make a commitment. Just make that commitment and say, I can do this on this day, and, then we'll find out, if we can use them.
Right. What are some of the other things some of the other projects that I'm wanting to talk about outside the walls, because we got a big fundraiser coming, or not, it's a big coming together, I guess you will say. But what are some of the other things that you do in your ministry, I guess?
Well, it varies really from one end of the spectrum to the other. We have helped abused mothers, find them a shelter. They don't know where to go. Yeah. So sometimes you're just a resource for information. A lot of times that happens. But if somebody's laid off work and they can't make the rent this month, we do what we can do. Sometimes we get Salvation Army to pay part of it, and then we pay part of it. We all kind of make a commitment. And that's why for one thing that we did at the beginning of this organization was try to bring all the services together. And there's another program out right now, too, that one of the trustees has started, bringing a lot of the services together once a month or every other month, I think, and share what you do with the other people, that are in the community. But we know that we can use a trustee, we know we can go to Hoosier Uplands, we know we can go to Salvation Army. So we all pull together, and if Salvation Army can't, they're limited on what they allow them to use. So, if they can do 200, then we may do 400 to finish up someone's rent. We pay utility bills. We make commitments to Duke Energy and the REMCs, and we help people get jobs. Last year we got 2 people jobs. And my husband just goes right over to the factories and says, hey, we got people who need work. So he's really good at that. He's really good at stepping up to the plate.
He is.
So, whatever someone's real need is, we helped somebody get a car. We helped a young man finish his education. He was just about to finish up. He lost his job, didn't have his money to finish out the rest of his semester, so we were able to bless him. And, he came back so grateful, share it. And that's the good thing about this as well, is our motto has always been, we're not giving a handout, but we're giving a hand up. Because we're not wanting you to continue in the state that you're in. We want people to become self-sufficient, self-sustaining, and learn. We even offer financial classes. We're referring them over to the Purdue Extension Office. They do budgeting classes there. And so people can learn, hey, well, where's my money going? What am I doing? Maybe I could do this better if I do things different. Right. So we help people with that. There has been so many variances of what we can do. And sometimes we just transport people to a doctor's appointment. We do that. We get you over to wherever you need to be, to the Walmart store. Sometimes I give people gas cards. They'll meet me somewhere, and I'll give them a gas card so they can get to work. You can't make money if you can't get to work. And so we've helped people with that. Just all types of different needs out there, and we're just trying to fill those gaps.
I love that. I'm glad you went through, those are a lot of things that we realize, but we just sometimes don't think about, And I love everybody networking together.
Yes.
So in the agencies, what you just talked about are fantastic. I know a lot about them, and I think it's great, but it's not so much on one person, one group. Yes. Everybody can kind of share and help out each other.
Well, some people are limited, the top organizations will say, okay, you're allowed to give this much for rent, you're allowed to give this much for utilities, and they're limited. Well, we all know rent has gone up. I mean, used to be we could give somebody $400. That took care of them. Not now. Most people's rent's $800 to $1,000. So, outside the walls can't do all that. So we're thankful, either the trustee will pitch in a little bit, and then Salvation Army will pitch in a little bit, and then we're able to finish it up so the people's needs are met. But it's expensive out there. Ramps that used to cost us $450 are now costing $1,000. So there's lots of expense involved, and thank God we don't have overhead. We don't have any paid employees. Now, we have from time to time had to hire professionals, a professional plumber to help us finish up a job that took somebody to know what they were doing. Different reasons we would hire a professional, and we do have to pay them, and some of those have even donated their services. Coolies has helped us before. Temple and Temple has helped us before. So we've had different businesses in town to give us support in the areas where we couldn't do it. But it's important. I mean, people understand this isn't coming out of each of our pockets. None of us are that wealthy, but we do need the help of the community. And people need to realize, too, this is for Washington County. This does not go outside this county. We serve Washington County, and we don't limit it to who we serve. You call, we will see what we can do. If we can't help you, we will try to refer you to somebody else who can. And that's the good thing about the networking as well. It's like there may be some things that's just beyond our expertise or what we can do, but we can refer them to somebody. Tammy Worley over at the hospital, she's oh my gosh, she's a world of information usually, and helps direct people to us and to other people as well. So that's been a big help. She's a great help in the community as well.
Well, I'm so glad that we were talking about this, because I feel like sometimes, if you want to make sure that you get the word out,
Yes.
and let's say that, Krista at Meadowview, there's a family or something that has a need, like maybe, and it's, or their mom or dad or somebody wants to come visit and needs a ramp or something. Krista, this is good to keep in mind or something, or it works out well that everybody, make sure you get the word out there that is available,
Yes.
I'll get calls a lot of times, people that will tell me their, what their needs are or whatever, and
Sure.
what do I do? And it's so nice that I can refer them to Hoosier Uplands or Outside the Walls or the Salvation Army, or the trustees. We have great people in our community, and I do think our community helps each other a lot, you know, and what a blessing that we have outside of the walls.
Yeah, and we have a loving and supportive community. I mean, when people know about us, oh, I want to help. What can I do?
Yeah.
But again, it's getting the word out to as many people as we can to let them know there is a need here. We want to help your neighbor. We might be helping your neighbor. I may be helping somebody on your job. Who knows how people's needs fall. Somebody gets somebody critically ill in their family, and they have to be off their job for a little while. They need some extra boost there. They need a little help.
Yeah.
And we had a gentleman not too long ago who said, I've never asked for help in my life. I don't even know how to go about doing that. And he said, but I got laid off, and it was right at Christmas, so we were able to see that his children had Christmas. We were able to see that his rent was paid, and he was able to get back on his job. In January, he started right back to work. So, but to get him over that hump and to bring some peace in their home, that's what it's all about, is loving one another, helping each other, being there to support one another. And that's what a community does. It's not just my neighbor, it's your neighbor as well. And so we want to be there. We want to be there and be a support, but we do have to let people know who we are.
Right. Yeah. I agree 100%. I went to a baby shower yesterday afternoon, and we were supposed to fill out like advice for the new mom. This is her first. And I think the one thing that was so valuable and so important was, don't be afraid to ask for help. And I think if we could get people to remember that,
Yes.
there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? There's, sometimes people maybe don't see that you need it. You know what I mean? Or know what your need is.
Absolutely.
And so I hope that this blanket, I hope this goes out all over the airways, that don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yes, absolutely. It could be me tomorrow. We're all there. I
Yeah.
don't care if you're the richest to the poorest.
Yeah.
You'll have a need at some point in your life of
Yeah.
some kind.
Yeah.
And that's the typical thing, is nobody wants to ask for help. Of course, you've seen those commercials for Dare to Care. Sometimes you don't even know that your neighbor's children are not being fed.
Right.
She doesn't voice it. They look like they're clean. They go to school. That everything looks great, but we have no idea what may be going on there. And the food bank deals with that all the time. And so it is important that you not be prideful, but that you say, hey, I might need a little help this month. It's okay. I might need it next month.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
you're right.
So
Yeah.
let's share in that together. And if I help you today, it might be your job to help me tomorrow.
Right. Well, and it's true. Yeah. And I think too, you have the pride part too, but then also not knowing.
Yes. Yes. Not knowing what's out there. That's
Yes,
true.
and not really. Oh, I didn't know that was available. I didn't know that was an option. And I just hope more people utilize that if they need it. And it's such a blessing. I don't think you can outgive.
Oh,
I don't
absolutely
think
not.
the more you give, the more you'll receive.
Well, in Psalms it says, "He who has pity on the poor lends to the Lord, and He will pay back everything you give." And that's in Psalms, but it is true. My daddy used to always say, my dad was a pastor, and he always used to say, you can't outgive God, no matter what you do, because he just keeps it coming back in abundance and overflow. So yes, we need to lend to the poor. He said to take care of the widows and the orphans, and to do our part, and God will bless you in return. Not you don't do it to get the blessing, you do it to be a blessing, but God's not going to let you go without.
Yeah.
That's just the way He works, and He is all-seeing and almighty, and I am so thankful. We have prayed many times, Lord, send the right people, send those who, let people know that we're here, and let them know there is help available. Sometimes, I mean, we know that suicide has been a tremendous in the last few years, and we don't know who's really gotten so destitute and so down, and then you get depressed. It's like, well, where do I go? What do I do?
Yeah.
So it is important that people know there are resources and there is help out there available for whatever the situation they're going through.
I agree. I think you're talking well for everyone. You know, I mean, from the mental to the physical to the,
Yes.
you know, we were just talking about the physical as far as like ramps or
Right.
needing maybe, maybe even like a special, and I know at Meadowview, like a special bathroom, you know what I mean, maybe the handles
Yes.
or whatever,
Yes.
or the bathtubs, or what do you call it, the handles on the tubs or whatever, you know.
Yep.
Or maybe a chair or something, you know, we know those needs like that.
Right.
But we're talking a lot of mental too.
Well, when you have
And-
a physical need, it will eventually affect you mentally. And, if you can get that need met, then, somebody can help uplift you, and that will uplift you to where you can maybe come out of that slump. That just to know, one lady, she said, oh my gosh, I just didn't know people were so wonderful still. We went over and built her a ramp and helped her with her bathroom, got some things done for her, and she was like, I just didn't know there were people out there that would do that stuff anymore. It just uplifted her so much that she was like, I'm going to go on and tell people about this and whatever. But, I mean, it does. Everything affects who we are. And so if we get our physical needs met, we get our spiritual needs met, and we get our mental needs met, we can be a whole person. And we can help others.
Right. And I think that's something. So does the ministry, outside of the walls ministry, does it focus on like also like mental? Does it?
Yes, we focus on the whole person.
Love that.
And if we need to get you, we had some young ladies, I had to get them to Wslm and give them some assistance. And we all know Wslm is, there for people with addictions or, depression. One girl I took there, and we thought she might harm herself. And so they were able to take her in. So whatever your need is, we probably don't have the expertise for that, but we can get you to someone who does. We don't want you to feel like, I'm all alone. I'm in this all by myself. There's nobody out there. There is somebody out there. And if we can't do it, there's other resources in this community that can do it.
I think that's good. And I think too, it's been, hard to find places because, some of the places have shut down.
Yes.
And it's been a little more difficult. I always try to make sure, I always mention, up in Bedford, the Serenity Now is available. And I know that they are like packed a lot, you know what I mean, and very, very valuable. But it's been a little difficult to find places. And I think that's something that, and I think people are doing better, I hope they are, for talking about it.
Yes.
Years ago, we didn't talk about that.
That's exactly right.
And I think it's great, and I think it should be talked about, and realizing that it's okay
Yes.
if you don't have it all together.
That's right. You don't have to suffer in silence anymore. Let's speak up.
Yeah.
And there are places around for lots of help. My husband ministers up in Washington, Indiana, at the Lighthouse. Oh, it's a wonderful facility. They're helping men and women, and they keep them there until they get on their feet. If they've got an addiction, they help them get over the addiction, and they get them jobs, and they help them to get a place. I mean, they stay with them to the end. And there are places around that will help. Sometimes, like you said, people just don't know what's out there. So, yes, we will direct them to a facility if we need to. Michael just took a man up there a couple weeks ago. And we've taken men. He met a stranger here in Salem one day on the road, and Michael always will pick up a stranger.
This does not surprise me. This story, I'm not shocked over
Michael.
here.
He will pick up a stranger, and he met this man, and he was trying to get there. Michael says, "Well, get in my car. I'm going to take you to the lighthouse." And, and it's not around the corner; it's a little ways up. But that's the kind of things we want to do.
Yeah.
If, as a neighbor, if you would do that. This would probably be best community that ever was. It already is a great community.
Yeah.
But we just all need to know what's out there and who's hurting. Be aware of your surroundings and your neighbors and just ask. Sometimes I just ask, hey, how are you doing? You know, we had a little girl down the street from us who lost her husband a few years ago, and, you know, she's got children. Well, we know that that little girl's going to have needs. So, you know, I don't even ask. I'll just take her something up there if I want
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
But, you know, just be aware of your neighbors and what's happening with them and let them know. Call outside the walls. You can get some help.
Well, I think it's good. This is good food for thought on a Monday. You know, and I think sometimes we all get wrapped up, you know, and from work to home to, you know, from our own children, you know, or
Yes.
whatever else, right? I mean, everybody's got 1,000 things going at once,
Absolutely.
and feeling like sometimes we get pulled in so many different directions, and we want it that way, maybe. You know, I mean, we're okay with it, but it's like sometimes then you don't realize, just like what you're talking about, maybe the widow that could use the help, the person that just, you know, or and I feel like a lot of times after you've lost a loved one, you know, everybody is around you at the time, and you know that was always the hardest part, was the 2 or 3 weeks afterwards when everybody's kind of gone on with their rest of their life and you're not ready to move on. But the world we live in tells us that we need to move on, you know, and you're not necessarily ready to move on.
That's
you
right.
know?
That's right.
And
you get stuck a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, and that's kind of hard. And I think it's nice sometimes when you have that person telling you that it's okay. You can take your time. You know, be that. You know, it's okay. You know, and I think those are important to mental, physical, and emotional.
Absolutely.
You know, journeys.
We want to meet the whole man.
Well, and like what you're talking about too, hospice. I just can't say loud enough, and I'll say it for the people in the back to hear. Hospice is fantastic.
It is wonderful.
And
for
I
that
know
end of life stage, and when I was I've taken care of a few people in my home that I let them stay until they passed. But my heart has always been, if coming into the world is such a celebration, going out should be as well. And so I try to minister to the families, encourage them to do whatever they want to do with their loved one, be there with them, play music for them. We do whatever that loved one wants and they need, and that comforts them until the Lord takes them up. And I've been able to hold their hands and say, it's okay, baby. Everybody's been here. You know, you can go home whenever you're ready. The Lord's waiting for you. And I've had them to just close their eyes, go to sleep, not wake up. And it's always, for me, thank you, Lord, it's always been a blessing being there and watching them enter into that next world.
Well, and there's that, and then also, but the families too.
Yes.
Because I feel like that's something that, you know, just that hospice ear, somebody in, you know, helping you.
Yes.
Like giving suggestions, very gentle, but that nice little voice just giving suggestions or bringing everybody together or organizing, you know, do we need food? You know, what does our family need? And I feel like that hospice person just is right there.
Well, because a lot of times the family's just too distraught.
Well, absolutely.
You know, they don't even sometimes know where to turn, and maybe they've never even faced a loved one leaving this earth. So you know, there's just so many questions and so many things that they just need a little assistance in to help them get on through that.
Right.
And just encouraging them to be themselves and do what they need to do as that person's passing. It's to me, it's very important that you be at peace about your loved one.
Right. And Krista, I'm sure that Meadowview, I know that hospice comes in and helps Meadowview and Salem Cross, you guys
every day.
And I'm sure that's a treasure.
It is. It's an extra set of hands for the physical care of the residents, but it's also an emotional support. Some of our hospice companies even have like music therapy, or lots of times they will encourage the families to bring in the loved one's pets or whatever, you know. So yes, I completely agree about the benefits of hospice care. And I was sitting here thinking, before my dad passed, he was on hospice for a very brief period, and he was at home. And I, of course, have been a healthcare provider for a very long time, and I had, you know, I'm generally a pretty logical person, so I had it all mapped out in my head. But it's different when it's your parent or a loved one. And I remember the thing that helped me the most, which was just a very small thing, but the hospice company had this booklet that just kind of provided the kind of like a, not necessarily a timeline, but a step of the end of life process, what the body goes through and why and what is happening. And to me, I know it sounds silly, but to me that was such a comfort that I could see, okay, this is why he's doing this, or it's something that he can't control or something like that. But I mean, something just as minor as that was just a huge benefit for me. And then I could relay that information to my brothers who are not medical, so that they would understand as well. And it was, can be a wonderful assistance to residents within a facility or at home, and it's it's a very needed service.
Right. And I hope everyone, if they need it, uses it. And it's
Absolutely.
nice to know that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I think that everybody working together. And I know, like Krista's here with Meadowview, and Connie, it's great to have the resources available to her,
Yes.
like for families if they need it, and to knowing that she could call call outside the walls for, we have a family that has a need. And I love everybody working together. Don't you feel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, I know that Tracy, my social services director, certainly has outside the walls information in her
Yes,
office.
She's
and
given
yeah,
us a call before.
I know she's relayed that resource to some residents before, and I know it was very helpful for those residents too, who didn't really have too many other options. And so, yes, I didn't realize the vastness of the services that you could address, so that's helpful for me. So in the future, I'm sure Tracy will be calling you guys a little bit more.
Well, I'm getting educated myself because I just took over the presidency this past year, and so it's been a while since I was really active in outside the walls. Other than I'd go volunteer if they needed my help, but I was busy with my home health business, and so I was able to step back for a few years. But there are so many more resources out there than there used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding new ones every day. I'm like, oh, I didn't know about them, so we can refer this person to, get help here. I didn't know anything about sickle, which helps, the handicapped to become independent. And they do a lot for the handicapped people that we get calls from.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a ton of resources out there, and like I said, I'm still getting educated. I'm still learning what's out there, what's available, and what to refer people to. But we're going to get this down. We're going to get this down, Pat. We're going to do good.
Well, and I think that works out well, though, to communicate with that,
Yes.
And the more you talk with, and I hope, Krista and I've learned too, Krista, and with you, some of the different services. We didn't realize how broad that was with outside of the walls, and I hope that our listeners have felt that too. And I think that it's such a blessing to have this and everybody working together for the best of that person or their loved one.
Absolutely. That's the whole point, is let's lifting people up, lifting one another up, helping people get self-sustaining, that you pull them up out of their little hole for a little while, and they get up there on level ground and be able to move on. That's the whole point in community to me.
Yeah.
Is being there for one another, assisting one another, and doing whatever needs to be done for your neighbor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have to agree with that 100%. And also, again, just reiterating again, don't forget, if you have the need, please tell the need, express the need.
Yes, absolutely. And they can always call.
Yeah.
Can I give the number there?
Well, absolutely.
They can always
Number,
call
website.
outside the walls at
Yeah.
812-967-9255. You can call that at any time. We do require that people fill out an application, but they can always call me, find out how to do that, and we'll get them into the right places. And sometimes it's not us that they need, it's somebody else. So I may refer them to somebody else and let them move on to that. But yes, we're there, and you need to ask. If you need some help, just ask.
Yeah, I love that. Love, love, love that. Well, okay, so we love outside of the walls, and we realized, how great it is in the community. But what do we got going on? What are you doing, Connie, over there?
Well, we're doing. This is our third.
Do you have it in front of you?
I know it.
I was gonna say, if you need it,
I've got it memorized.
I can hold it
But
up
we
for you.
have our third annual Love Lunch coming up on Sunday, February the 11th. And we'll start serving people from 12 to 2. And then we're going to have testimonials of people that have been served in the past year that want to come and share. They're all excited about coming and sharing their story. And we'll be telling a little bit more about what we have going on coming up. We'll have sign-up sheets for people who want to volunteer and work on the teams this year. So we're going to have a lot of things going. We have a wonderful lunch prepared by Bart Pages, who is a professional chef. I think the organization he's with is Daily Bread Food Services. They do a number of things. But he'll be preparing the meal for us this year. It's totally free. We want you to come and learn. We've especially invited, and we have gone around a lot of the businesses here in town, but if you're listening and you haven't been contacted, we want the business owners to come out. We send a manager, send representatives from your business, and let them come and learn. Because a lot of the people that come in your business are people we assist every day. So we need you to know who we are. We need you to be able to support us from time to time if you're able to do that. This year we got a wonderful donation from Centra Credit Union. They gave us a wonderful check of $2,500, which helped to build, that's enough for a couple of 2 or 3 ramps. And so, he said it came up for their yearly donation, and they selected Outside the Walls this year. So we were very grateful for that. And we have some churches that support us regularly, but we need more support. Everything is getting more expensive. So we want the lunch to inform everybody of what we're doing. It will be at Southern Hills Christian Church
How
out of Highway
wonderful for them
135.
to allow that.
Yes, they allow us to use their gym, and Bart's able to use their kitchen, and they've just been really overwhelmingly great, able to help us, and it's been good.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just think we're so blessed in this community to have the church there for us, and let everybody utilize
Absolutely.
it. I mean, it uses so many different.
Yes, it does.
uses. Okay, sorry. I had to put a little side note.
That's
I'm
okay.
always
They
so-
are a blessing to the community. Southern Hills is a great blessing.
Definitely.
It's right there on Highway 135 if you're not familiar with it. But it will be a fun day, and we will get everybody home in time to watch the Super Bowl. We won't be there all day. But this is really important. This is more important than Super Bowl in my opinion. But, everybody's got their opinion about that. But we are looking forward to meeting new people, and if some of the people that has had our lunches before, of course, they're going to want to come because they know how good it is. But it is free to the public and free to the businesses. We just want you to come and learn about what we're doing in the community and what is out there.
So what's the menu?
Well, it's going to be an Italian meal, and it'll be a 3-course meal, and then with a dessert.
Can you tell what it is?
I'm hoping I'm saying this right. I think it's going to be lasagna, and there'll be bruschetta, and breads on the tables, and salad, and so it's a very good meal he puts together. It is absolutely
I just wanted
delicious.
to hear it. Say it louder. Oh, I love Italian food. Oh, that's going to be so good.
It's a wonderful meal. He does a great job.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a really fun day. We have Ellen Mosier, who's coming to do the violin for us.
Oh,
And,
beautiful.
so
wow, you're making romance here.
we are doing this up
Setting
right.
the mood.
Yes. Getting you all ready for your Valentine dates, okay?
That's right.
But, because it's to spread the love. That's what we felt like when we decided to call it the Love Lunch. We want to share the love of Jesus and the love of this community to one another, and you to be able to love back. And that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I love that. I do love that. So for those, let's talk about for those that want to come, but they don't want to talk. You know what I mean? They don't have to. I mean, like,
no one needs to share if they don't want to.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
I want people to feel like that. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
They don't have to like, you have some, that are going to speak, but it's not, nobody's going to be.
No.
Right.
Well, we should have it's being prepared. I hope a PowerPoint demonstration, video of what we do and what some of the jobs that we've done this year. But no, there are specific people that wanted to share their stories about what Outside the Walls did for them, so they're coming.
Love that.
There'll be 4 or 5 good testimonials of things that have happened in the community.
Well, I think anybody listening to, this is great for our program here this morning, but also this is a great opportunity for people who maybe are on the edge of, like, I'd like to volunteer, I'd like to help out.
Yes.
Or to get to learn more about this.
Well, that's what it's all about. We'll be talking, and like I said, we will have sign-up sheets for people that may want to volunteer this year. They can let us know if they want to come as a team or they're just an individual. And what we do is we have people that head up the volunteers, and they will be calling them. They'll coordinate everybody together for how many people we need for a specific job. And then we'll let them know that in plenty of time, we hope to let them know that we've got a job coming up and they can help.
I think it's great the more volunteers you have, and then when you do call someone and they can't make it.
That's right.
And that's something, I think with volunteering, I think everybody gets, I hope we're kind of over this, but used to, everybody was kind of afraid to put their name down because they were afraid to make a commitment.
Yes.
But we're saying you don't have to feel that way.
No, not at all. That's the whole point of having plenty of volunteers is that, you may be going out of town that weekend. You may be planning a picnic for your children that weekend. So we'll just move on to the next volunteer, give them a call, and see who else is available out there. And as soon as we get it up for the team, then we, stop calling. But we try also to spread it around. I'm not going to call you to come every time. We'll call some of the others that are on the list and see who's available.
Right. I love that. And of course, it's about, like, let's say you've never built a ramp before, but if you have like a team leader that can show you how to do it.
Yes. Bart Pages heads up our team, and he's the one who gets everything together, gets our lumber ordered and whatever else we need, and he knows the specs of how it has to be built. We all are just kind of like, we pack the lumber and drill a nail in or a screw and whatever Bart needs.
I think you drill a screw and you hammer a nail. I am cracking up, Connie. That is hilarious. I want to see you out building a ramp. I know.
Daughter.
No, I know. That's really. Oh no! I am cracking up. That's so funny. I can hammer a nail. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Absolutely.
I can do some of that stuff. I have a few mad skills, on that. But but I would definitely, and I think that's kind of like, working together, learning, a team leader to show me what to do, what I need to do. I think that's.
And it's so fun to get to know everybody, and oh, I didn't know you went over there, and I didn't know you did this, and
yeah.
So it's a lot of fun.
Well, and it's very much a blessing for our community too.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, for families, and you're doing doing it together, but also it's going to be wonderful for our family. Yeah.
Yes.
So, and of course, it's fun too. It's you guys. I think Mike, you guys have a fun personality too.
It's a blessing when you get there and you know what you're doing for that. Everybody goes home just uplifted. It's like, oh, I'm so thankful we were able to help do this for these people.
Yeah.
And everybody is so grateful. We did a job for a gentleman, probably back in late fall. And he just couldn't stop saying thank you enough. He just stood out on his porch and just, I just can't get over this. This is overwhelming. He was so grateful. So it really helps you too. You feel good about the day, when you've been there and you've worked all day. It's a lot of fun.
Right. Yeah. All right. So is there, do they need to sign up prior to this?
Yes.
Okay. That's where
we are taking reservations. And again, you call that number 812-967-9255. And you can make reservations, and we really need those reservations in by Friday, February the 9th, and we'll make sure that you have a seat.
Well, I think anybody that does cooking always wants a head count.
Yes.
I always get so nervous that I don't have enough, you know what I mean? So I always have way too much, but that's why they make leftovers, right?
That's right.
Yes, it's fun to take them home.
Yeah. Yeah. So do we, as for anybody that's coming, this is the 3rd annual.
Yes.
So how's the other 2? Have they gone well?
They have gone well. like I said, this year our goal has been to contact businesses, because we feel like, because when Centra called us this year to come, they had the donation for us, and I was like, how do you know us? Because, well, I know about you, he said, because when I was in high school, he said, you all came and got their home, what do you call that, whatever the workers are in their school that do woodworking or whatever. I guess like shop class. I don't know if they used to still call it shop. It'd be like a shop class or something. And he said, I was in there, and he goes, you all took teams from our school, and we helped you all build a ramp. And he said, I've never forgotten that. It impressed me. So then I got to thinking, well, how many other people don't know who we are out here? True. So our emphasis this year was to try and contact as many businesses as possible and let them know what we're doing, and but everybody else is invited as well.
Well, and I think too, like as far as businesses knowing too, because like sometimes I'll have businesses contact me about an employee that needs help.
Yes.
And I think that's nice from a business point to know the resources and know different
Yes, that's
avenues.
what we felt like too. It's like, well, I wonder how many people even know, if they've got somebody in their, and he, the gentleman over at Centra, he said, I want to be able to keep your all's information here to hand out to the clients that come in. He goes, sometimes we get people that are in need.
Sure.
And so he has a stack of our information there at his office. So that just made me get to thinking more and more about how many businesses needed to know who we were and what we do out here.
I think that's great. I think it'd be great to have like those brochures or little pamphlets or whatever available.
Yes.
For for people.
Yeah, we have been hopefully supplying businesses with our information, and you tell them if you need it, hand it out. Tell somebody.
Yeah. Well, and because not just for the customers, it could be for their own employees.
Yes, absolutely.
That's wonderful. Well, I think this sounds like a great time together. So it's all free.
Yes, it is.
Free to come, and just make sure you get your name on the list.
Yes.
Sign up.
Yes, you definitely need to make a reservation. We are going to cook according to who signs up and gives us a call. We don't want to waste our resources. But yes, if you'll call and make a reservation by Friday, then we will see to it that you have a seat. We've had some people already call, and so hopefully it's getting out there.
Now, it seems like in the past, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, Connie, we didn't talk about this before, are you going to have tablecloths?
Oh, honey, it's set up so beautiful.
See, always. I love that.
It has tablecloths. It has candles on the tables.
See,
yes. It's very nice.
Love that. I remember that in the past, so I didn't know. I didn't want to put you on the spot. I didn't know if the tablecloths are still available.
It will be a lovely lunch. You will want to bring your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend and say, hey, here we go. This is our Valentine get together.
There we go. You're making it very easy for the men. You know what I mean?
I am.
Yeah, you're
no,
really...
it's going to be very lovely. And like I said, we have Ellen playing violin while they have their dinner, and so it's a really, really nice luncheon.
I love that. Well, this is going to be great. And, of course, it's this coming, or not this Sunday, but the next Sunday, February 11th.
Yes.
So, and from 12 to 2. And...
Well, we will be serving from 12 to 2. So, if they don't get out of church themselves till 12 or 12:30, they will still have time to make it over there and be served a meal. We will be serving it up till 2 o'clock, and then after that we'll have our presentation.
Okay, at 2 o'clock will be the presentation.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Well, it's really going to be a fun time. And desserts, have you heard about the desserts? Anything?
Well, I'm getting a
Krista,
bug in my
I'm
ear.
asking questions. Krista, you know you want to know.
I do want to know.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's going to be some red velvet cake.
Oh, have mercy.
And a chocolate decadent cake with a ganache topping on it.
Mm.
Yes. Yes. Thank goodness there's no calories on the weekend, right?
Oh, absolutely. No.
This is your pregame before the other game. Right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, you're all getting a little snack before you go home and eat all that really yucky stuff. See, we're going to serve good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Taylor Swift's boyfriend's playing in this.
Oh, yes, I have seen that. I know it is an important game, but
Yeah.
we are important as well.
No,
so please come.
You're very important. Yeah, I was being just silly. I'm a football person. I love football, but I think it's funny to all of the different things on social media. Hey,
Oh,
Taylor
yes.
Swift's boyfriend's playing in this. And it's just like he's got a name for himself. People, I knew him before Taylor Swift. You know what I'm saying? But it's just funny to hear that. Here.
I think she's made that team popular.
I think that
She
team
certainly helped.
Yeah, I was gonna say definitely. So, but I think that team had a lot going on. But and I got to interview some of them at the Derby, so it was pretty cool. So anyway, but and that was before Taylor Swift. Say that. But anyway, so I think this is great, perfect timing, just before the Sunday before Valentine's Day too, and and I think it is. I think love is something that we all need more of, right?
Absolutely.
And remembering sometimes how to show love and put love into action. That love can be an action word too.
Well, and we just feel like it's an opportunity for people to spread love in this community more. There will be an opportunity for donations toward the end, but we just feel like everybody needs to share in what we're doing in this community, and this is your way to share. Come, donate your time, donate your finances, whatever you can do. Some businesses may say, hey, we'll donate the material you need for whatever. That's happened a lot for us. So yes, we want to share the love to one another and to our community.
Love that. So Connie, if I wanted to, let's say that I had a specialty. I'm still looking for it. But let's say I discover that I have a specialty. And let's say that I do have skills that could possibly be utilized. How do I become a volunteer?
Well, again, you can sign up at the meeting, but we have had people to contact us. First Harrison Bank, the young lady from there contacted me. They called the Outside the Walls number, and she said, hey, we've got a team of volunteers here at the bank, and we want to volunteer to come and do some stuff. They've done services for other people, and she said she heard about Outside the Walls, so they wanted to.
But I mean, like, would I tell you my specialties, or like say I can do this?
Yes, it would be great. Yes, and especially
that's what I mean. Like,
if we've got men that can do certain things. Of course, we know my daughter's a builder. She builds whatever she wants to do, but whatever your expertise are, we will usually ask that as well.
Yeah, that's what. Yes,
is there somebody on your team that is good at one thing or the other? Yeah, that's always good to know that.
Yeah, sweeping, cleaning up.
Yes,
you know what I mean? After they leave, helping pack the tools.
Yes.
And
there are, like I said, there are ladies who will just
Kristen?
supply the lunch.
Well, lunch, lemonade. You know what I mean? Whatever they need. Towels to pat the sweat. Whatever they need. Right. Wipe the foreheads. Encouraging, clapping.
Towel.
I can be the cheerleader on the sideline.
Well,
you got this. You can do this. Keep it up. Or we could also be the critic. Ooh, that looks a little crooked.
They know I'll say that. They don't want Miss Connie there usually.
I just want to tell you some of my skills, Connie. Okay.
Well, we will definitely give you a call, dear.
I can see you. Phone will be ringing soon, right?
Yes, absolutely.
No, I think it brings up, and I think bringing people together, everyone together, and I think we all have something that we can give. We all, God has made us all unique, special talents, and utilizing that. And I'm a huge, when God gives you something, you put it to use,
Yes.
And I think this is great. I think great services. We're getting close on time, Connie, but
well, we will give them the opportunity to use their talents.
Love that. So we're talking. So the big lunch is this on Sunday, February 11th, from 12 to 2.
Yes.
And to please pre-register.
Yes, please call 812-967-9255. And also they can go on our website. There is a website that you can go to. It's Outside the Walls, washco.org, and you'll get information on there. There's an opportunity to give on there. We have a website that is so simple to give, and the company will immediately send you out a tax receipt and a thank you for your donation. So they can go online and do donations as well as find out how to contact us.
Well, I love that. Connie Ray, you keep up the great work. I'm very, very proud of what you're doing. And 15 years, let's hope that we're another 150 years.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I hope it continues
keep
on after we're
planting
way
those
gone.
seeds. Well, and I think that it's a great thing, and it's something that we definitely, very valuable in our community. So,
Yes.
and I know that you and your husband, Mike, are fantastic people. I'm fans of you both. I'm fans of both of you. We don't want necessarily Mike to know all that, but no, I'm just kidding. I'm fans of both of you, and and Mike, he's a shaker and a mover, and I've seen
Yes,
him.
he is.
I've seen him move mountains here and do things. So God opens doors for you both, and so very much a blessing and very much blessed in your ministry. So
Well, thank you for allowing us to be on here today to share what we're doing.
Well, we're very blessed, and thank you for all you're doing too. So
Thank you.
keep up the great work. Krista, you guys are rock stars over there at Meadowview Healthcare Center, and so
Thank
glad that
you.
we could get you in this morning. I know Mondays are are a lot.
Yes, yes. I was filling in for Aaron today. But actually, we have something going on this afternoon, and Aaron will be there for that. It's over at the senior center.
Okay.
And it's just a little education session about the ways that Medicare can be applied with long-term care versus health care, and just a little informational session. And LifeSpring will also be there, as well as Senior Alliance will be there for some information. And Aaron's going to have some free food,
Oh.
free food for anyone that comes and visits and learns a little bit today. So that's at 2 o'clock at the Senior Center. And just go say hi to Erin, and she'll get you fixed up with a little bit of information and point you in the right direction with the people there with the services they provide.
I love that, and actually, Aaron has been talking about that. I'm glad you brought that to our attention. It's Monday. I need to be reminded. But this is so good, and I think it's such a blessing because a lot of times people don't know plans,
Right.
and it's very confusing.
It very.
Go ahead.
Especially the differences between how insurance is applied in the hospital versus rehab or long-term care. It's very different, and a lot of times everyone is under the assumption no matter what kind of Medicare plan you have, you're going to have 100 days if you need to go to a facility for rehab, and that's just not the case. So hopefully today will be enlightening for those that are interested in learning about the different options with Medicare today, because it can be, just like Becky said, it can be very confusing. It's confusing for me because it changes all the time, and the insurances that are out there that provide and don't provide things, and it's a lot to. It's a lot to take in, especially when you're in a situation where you need to utilize those services quickly, and you don't know what you have. So, today's going to be hopefully a very helpful informational session.
I'm so happy. It's such a blessing. We need these, yes. And
heavier than a locomotive, faster than a buffet line, wiser than a boatload of radio gurus. It's Rick and Bubba.
Thank you, Johnny Donovan. 6 minutes past the hour, the Rick and Bubba Show from the Big Boy Studio on the bleeding edge of technology from Sweet Home, Alabama to the world. Thank you for being with us. Phone calls start the hour. The real Greg Burgess is standing by. Our number, 866-WE-BE-BIG if you want to join us. Speedy, the real Greg Burgess, Birthday Boy Helms, and Eddie Van Adler all here for another hour of the Rick and Bubba Show. Looking ahead, believe it or not, it's next weekend. The Man Church Conference, Birmingham, Alabama. It is 1 week from this Friday, and if you don't have your tickets, still some seats available. but going quickly. We'll be at the Wright Center, Samford University. Robbie Gallaty will be there. Rich Wingo, Andy Blanks, Chuck Hooten does worship. I'll be speaking on Friday and Saturday. We'll have our new resources from themanchurch.com. If you're coming, looking forward to seeing you next weekend, men. If you're not, get your tickets now at themanchurch.com. Welcome back, Bill Bubba Bussey.
Rick, glad to be here. Thank all of you for joining us. It is the little party, Rick and Bubba.
To the phones we go. We'd love to hear from you. Lines are available. The real Greg Burgess is making it happen. So let's get started with the Jordans.
All right, Jordan, fire it in there.
One of our many Jordans, Bubba. This is the one in Pell City. Jordan, welcome to Rick and Bubba. Go right ahead.
Good morning, fellas. How are y'all?
We are great.
I tell you guys, I have been listening to Rick and Bubba since I was as young as I can remember, riding in the car with my parents.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I don't know what I'm going to do because I have not missed a show. I'm not saying I've listened live with the podcast in at least 3 years.
Never missed one. You're talking about never missed one in 3 years?
No.
What kind of, are we talking all 5 hours? Are we talking about I listened to a portion of the show?
Whenever you introduce Bubba, I listen to it. The entire show, walking around the house, in my car. I don't listen to it all in one go, but I listen to one show before. I'll be on Monday, and it'll be Thursday, and I'll finish Monday, and then I'll listen Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Wow.
Well, we appreciate it. That's awesome.
Okay, and you don't have to share that. What do you do for a living?
I'm a full-time student right now, but I'm going to be a teacher.
Okay, great. All right. Well, Jordan,
educating those young minds.
That's the commitment that we got. We got to have that commitment. And hey, don't waver. We need you for all the way to the end. Jesse in Alabama. Jesse,
through the tape.
Go ahead.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Hey,
been listening to the show my whole life.
Thank you.
And my first kid's due in March, and I figured, there was a time I thought he'd be able to listen to the show like I did growing up. Of course, that's over. But you guys were talking about picking your nose this morning. Old guy I used to work with said there's two types of people in this world: people that pick their nose and liars. So.
That's true. Everybody picks a little. You're right. Thank you so much for that, buddy.
Very nice.
Mac Dothan, News Talk 103.9. Mac, go ahead.
Well, I just asked Greg, because he's answering phones. I said, hey, I know Rick said last Thursday that the whole end to the show is going to be a celebration. I asked him, I said, does that mean you and I get to take a drink? And also the guy that just called, my first son, he's due on June the 18th, and he stole my line. I was going to say Corset's over.
Course, that probably the name. We should do that. Maybe that's the name of the CD. Course, that's over. Robert in Coleman. Robert, welcome to Rick and Bubba. Listen to ZZK. Go ahead.
Hey, I heard you say earlier that you and Bubba had no experience winning awards when it came to the Grammy. Are you discrediting your prestigious Sunday School Game Night Award?
It was actually the top of a toilet seat. They had it sitting over there, and they handed it to me, and I gave my speech. I guess you're right. I mean, as far as that, I did get one award.
Hey, winning's winning.
Yeah, winning's winning. Didn't we get something for marketing? But we've never gotten...
We did. We got a marketing award, but nothing in our industry.
No.
Probably never will.
No.
I mean, why start now?
That's not going to happen. Of course, that's over.
That's over.
Chris, Florence, WLAY. Chris, go ahead.
Greg Guns, happy birthday, Coach Helms, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
I got a question, guys. Should I adopt the Gunnersville Treaty? One morning, before you guys announced the announcement, I had a prank pulled on me, and I caught it. My wife put those things that you throw down on the ground and pop, and she put them in my wallet for me to sit down in. Is it time for me to adopt the Gunnersville Treaty at my house?
Once you pay her back, then after that I would. You got to get her back, and then after that I'd call it treaty. Yeah, because it's not worth it. You can't live like that.
Yeah, do like the communists do. Bomb somewhere and then ask for a treaty.
Right, exactly right. Chuck, Birmingham, Alabama, listening to ZZK. Chuck, go ahead.
Morning, fellas.
Howdy.
Hey, question real quick. So all these years listening to Best Of and all that, and I'll say right up front, I don't think I've heard them all, but I've never heard a rerun of Vicky Quest or heard any kind of update of old Vicky. So what's going on with that? What's up with
as far,
Do we know that?
I think we got an update on that, and that
Aw.
feels right. But as far as the reason why it never made a best of CD, because it is so long, and then something happened on the recording
audio.
too.
Yep.
The audio got messed up. So that's one of those moments that kind of can't even play it back on best of shows because the recording on it has noise in it, or two voices talking at the same time.
I tried it one time and it was so annoying. I didn't. It was during one of my best of weeks because it, to your point, is long. I'm talking about hours long because it's a soap opera. It's the life of trying to go over there and get her back here.
Greg said when he was a Troubleman, he said, I just stopped working. He said he just sat there in his truck because he had to hear how this.
Yeah.
Now, I did ask the uncomfortable question, I think, last week, and it was very uncomfortable. But I think I did ask, did she ever go blind before she passed?
I don't think so.
I know
but we
that's an
did get
uncomfortable
updated
question.
years ago
I know
that
it's an
she
uncomfortable
passed
question.
away, but I don't think she
And
did.
the whole thing just got really weird.
Yeah, but to your point, Rick, I think when the dubbing took place of that, there was something else
potted up.
bleeding in, and it's two pieces